This story is about Mr. Martin. He lived in a grand Luxembourgish farm together with his 6 children and his wife Marielle. They were known as the Happy Farming Family because they were always seen together and participated in and organized lots of activities around the charming historic village. Unfortunately, his wife passed away early on in their relationship. This left him to care alone for his 6 children. At first he managed, but over time the burden got too high for him and he grabbed towards alcohol to cope with his problems. This led into a spiral of abuse and addiction where he never recovered from. His children left him one by one until he eventually had nobody left to take care of him. And in the fall of 2011, Mr. Martin was rushed to the hospital of an alcohol overdose, from which he unfortunately never recovered. The children don't seem to care about the house anymore that he had left them behind. The resale value is slim to none in this remote part of Luxembourg. So ever since his passing, it has slowly been withering away until Mother Nature claims it for herself again. Today we will take you inside of his abandoned place and show you everything that's left behind in there.
Welcome back to the Bros of DK. I'm Leslie and today I'm going to take you on another epic adventure. We are today in the country of Luxembourg, one of the smallest countries of Europe and actually of the entire world. And here we found the house of Mr. Martin, and the story behind it is quite epic. Mr. Martin was a Luxembourgish farmer, just an ordinary Luxembourgish farmer. He had 6 children and a beloved wife. He was truly in love. They were married at a very early age and spent a great majority of their life together. But at a certain point, when the 6 children also still lived here, the wife suddenly passed away of an illness and he was left alone and devastated. And he was left to care for the children. But through his devastation, he wasn't a good father anymore. So he didn't care that well for the children. And even some children were taken out of the house. So the relationship between Martin and the children was quite harsh. So at a certain point, they just didn't talk to each other anymore. And when all the children moved out, Mr. Martin became more and more secluded. And people in the town didn't see him anymore. They also assumed that he had quite a drinking problem because he went to the store very often to buy bottles of liquor. We're going to also see this throughout the house. And in the year 2011, Mr. Martin was suddenly rushed to the hospital. And he never recovered. It was an alcohol poisoning. And he suddenly passed away. The children don't care about this place anymore, so that's why it's left behind. It hasn't that much of a resale value because this is one of the richest countries in the world, and a place like this wouldn't fetch you that much money, so they just don't care about it. Since 2011, everything of Mr. Martin is left in the exact same position as he left it behind when he was rushed to the hospital. I'm going to take you today through this house. It's going to be quite the adventure. We're going to make an awesome documentary of this place. Peace to you, Mr. Martin, and let's film your house in the greatest respect and bring this story to the world. Right now, we are situated in the entrance hall of the abandoned farm. And this is actually one of the biggest farms that I've seen in a while. This place, every single child has its own bedroom. I'm gonna see it all today. And as you can see over here, this was the door that you would come in through. This is the back door of the house. Spider webs are completely covering it, making it their own. So this is the first thing that you would see when you would get into the house. An arch-style way that would lead you up to the stairway. But first, let's go here to the left, to the first room. And I assume that Mr. Martin, because he was alone in this place, didn't need all the space in it. So he used some of the rooms as storage. Got this big couch over here. Ich war Saddam's son. People over here speak German, like Luxembourgish is German French-ish. And this means I was Saddam's son. Wow. And over here we got a magazine from 1979. Weizenbach, Hostellerie du Nord. And over here we got a big table with lots of artifacts. But first, have a look at these pictures. And this might be, oh, did it focus? This might be his son. And another picture of a child. See the back, if there's anything on there? But no. Wow. A barometer over here. Amazing. In the back there, lots of fireplace, lots of newspapers are stocked. Presumably to light the fireplace. But what catches my interest is this tin box with a depiction of a French bar, of noble men drinking, and also these women to the side. Fantastic box. Have a look at this. I adore this. Place it back nicely. Wow. Not really the most interesting room of the house, but also something I want to show you. Look over here in the hallway. Lots of francs left behind. Those are the old Luxembourgish currency still left in this house. Wow. It's worth nothing anymore today, but it's quite nice to see. And what do we have over here? Oh, this is the first. I think these were wine boxes, Andalus 400 milliliters, I think. Yeah, he had quite a drinking problem. So we're gonna also see that throughout the house. Be prepared for that. An old lamp on the stairway. This is gonna lead us later on in the video to the basement. Let's check out this room first. Okay. Oh, another storage room. We're gonna see that a lot in this place. Okay, this is quite interesting. He had lots of plastic boxes that he would store things in. Maybe he made his own food that he would prepare for later on. Not really that interesting of a room, just a storage room. What's in these boxes? They're just empty. Okay. Brushes to shine the shoes. And then these are Mr. Martin, his shoes. And now it's time to venture inside of his kitchen and see what's left behind in there. Because it's quite the adventure. This is totally how Mr. Martin left it behind all those years ago. 2011 doesn't sound that long ago, but it's already 10 years ago. See, like I told you, the 22nd of December, just before Christmas time, Mr. Martin was rushed to the hospital and never came back to this place. He also had lots of cats. You can see there's all cat food over here. Then we have his fridge with the last jam and milk jug all still in there. Crazy. cabinet. See what's in the cabinet. Oh, the sounds that it makes. Glasses, and jugs, and pots, and jars. All still left. Just how Mr. Martin went out of this place. Oh, that's creepy. And I think when he was at an advanced age, he also had difficulty walking, so he needed a walking cane. His watch is also still here. A Timex watch. His knife that he would always carry with him. Now left here until eternity. What does it say on there? The letters are quite fake. Let's place it back nicely. And here we have a ticket for an airline. Oh no, this is like a salt packet or a napkin from an airline. So he maybe went somewhere on vacation. Look at all the cat food that's left here. These boxes are all for cats. Isn't that just crazy? Crazy. He definitely had some cats. Maybe to keep him company. Wow. The sink where he washed his pots and pans. You can see this was the last pot that Mr. Martin made a lovely meal in. I know this video is going to be quite sad, but sometimes that's always also the case. It can't always be happy and joy. You have to show how people lived. Glasses and other pots. I also really adore all the spider webs that are covering the cabinets of this place. Wow. Look at this. Little table to the side where his coffee mug and everything would be on. Here he made coffee with, ate soup from. And then this wonderful piece, presenting the middle of the kitchen, an old vintage stove, like you don't see them anymore. I truly adore this piece. He had some wood ready to put inside of the stove. A pot that he would probably use to make a meal with later on that day before he was rushed away. Wow. Then he would light up this beautiful piece. It's quite dirty. Wood all around it. And back there we can see coals. Those are like slow burning coals to keep the stove on. If you wanted to prepare, for example, eggs in the morning, you would throw some of those coals on the fire, and then the fire would be running in the morning. So you could immediately start again cooking. We have his shoes in front of this beautiful machine. I truly, truly, truly adore this cooker, this stove. His towels are still hanging on the side of it. This is just madness. And then the table where he ate from. Towels still on there, his walking cane presented on the table. His shoes are underneath, behind the spider webs. A newspaper, presumably the last newspaper that he read at this table, still there. Let's see if we can make out Mr. Martin. We have 3 guys here. And we have another picture. This guy looks a lot like him and at older age, so that might be Mr. Martin. Wow, his scarf and hat for going outside of the house are also still here. I'm gonna give you an overview of this kitchen before we go into the dining space. Wow. And this is the time when life stopped in this place. 1:33 p.m. The Holy Cross will lead us into the dining space of Mr. Martin. And this room is actually quite pristine. As you can see, he kept this nice and clean just to welcome the guests in that came over to visit him. And I think he would close this door like this and lead the guests in from the hallway into this room to have dinner. That's quite a possibility, right? Look at this place. The first thing that we notice is this wonderful picture of this young man on the wall. Could be Mr. Martin, but who knows, might also be one of his children. Look at all these pictures on the table. These two girls, these two women, might have been his wife, his beloved wife, that passed away at such an early age. Why he got so devastated. It's crazy. Life can be harsh sometimes. A classroom full of young boys and girls. No, these are only girls. We might be looking at one of his children. And then we have another picture. Oh, this looks like a funeral. Oh my God, or isn't it? Because they have or a celebration, I'm not sure, but if it's a funeral, it might be the funeral of his wife, because the pictures of his wife are also left here. That's crazy. Newspapers that he read at the stove, in his lovely chair over there. His shoes nicely on top of this blanket, this wool blanket, probably a real one from a sheep. This would be Mr. Martin's place. If you have an imagination, you can see him sitting here, just at the fireplace, enjoying himself, reading the newspaper, and then a toasty hot fireplace next to him. And I must say, this is a magnificent piece. A Hola number 2, beautifully designed wood fireplace. Wow. And here you could cook something on the top. Maybe a tea kettle or something to prepare some nice tea. I think this is a sleeping place for the cats that will be in this place. An enormous built-in cabinet into the wall here. Very typical for Luxembourg as well. They have lots of French and German influence. And this one is completely stocked with all his accountancy stuff. Let's see what's in the middle. Yeah, even more books. Whoa. Those sounds that it makes. Got an elephant over here. A nice clock. And a horse. And I thought these were praying beans. Yeah, these are praying beans. This is just a little part of a bead. Praying bean bead. Amazing. Let's put it nicely back here. To the side of the room, we got an enormous television from Grunding. That's a German brand. Wow. And look above the television. A Kuckucksclock, like you don't see them anymore. And Mr. Jesus Christ hanging from the cross. What temperature is it right now? It's 4 degrees right now inside. It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. What I do for you guys, it's pretty cold. I'm filming and it's just freezing right now. The dining table, where he invited his guests. You can see the last cups of somebody came over. Maybe he didn't clean it yet. And it's all still here. Knitting supplies. Knives and everything. Oh, this is crazy. Oh no, this is Mr. Martin. Look at him sitting there. They took a picture of him. He's sitting on a bench, holding a full bottle of red wine and a cigarette in his left hand. This is a depiction of his last days of his life. And here he's also in some sort of a band. Wow. And then to the corner of the room, we have the telephone book above the radio, where you could dial. And here is also the heater down there. And the radio is sitting on a Singer sewing machine stand, but there's no Singer sewing machine anymore. These are such amazing pieces. Jesus, the lumberjack. Beautiful. And here to the side of the room, he would store all his coats to go outside. Okay, everybody, before we go upstairs, there's also one more thing I need to show you. Because I think and I believe this place has not been abandoned for such a long time. And in Belgium and Luxembourg as well, where we are today, the government gives you a free amount of energy if you can't pay your bills anymore. And I can see that the switches over here are quite in a pristine condition. I know that Heizung, that means like the home electricity. So I'm gonna try it out over here. Put all the switches on. I wanna try it on here in the kitchen and see if the electricity still functions. The light literally just turned on in this wonderful time capsule kitchen. Oh my God, isn't that just insanely crazy? And over here, one light bulb on the chandelier also still functions. I can't believe the last light on the owner of this place. Wow, let me turn this off. Don't want to keep it on too long, of course, in an abandoned place. Wow, I just adore this kitchen. But I also noticed that this door is here at the end of the kitchen and I have not walked through it yet. And this leads us into his workplace, actually. Oh, there's also a switch here. Turns on the light in this room. Here he came in the morning, where he started to work, put on his clothes. The milking machines for the cow udders are still here. There's just one milking machine left. It's a little rug that reveals some tools. Wonderful lamp. You see these quite often. Oh, and this was his washing machine, a Viva. Wow. It's a vintage machine. Quite interesting. And this leads us into the barn itself. Wow. Here the cows were stored. Were housed, I should say. Look at this. Even the straw, the hay for the cows is left behind. I can see here in the middle, they had this wooden scale. For my perspective, I would say around 20 cows were housed in this place. Have a look at this. There's a tractor left behind in here. Wow, this is actually incredibly huge. All the hay would be stored up here. Wow. This was the tractor that they used to roam the fields with. As you can see, Not used in a very long time. I think it's closed. Oh no, it's not. It was just stuck. Wow. Look at this. Let's close it up again. Incredible to see all of this. Hay ball making machine. I don't know the exact name of it. That's just how I'm gonna call it. I know the word for it in Dutch, of course, but not in English. Some bundles of wood for the fireplace. And have a look at this machine that's presented in this barn here. This is definitely more than 100 years old. You can see the gears and everything. And this is also a hay ball making machine. But this one, look at the state of it and the build with iron wheels. Probably used to be pulled by a horse or something like that. Wow. I love the levers that are up here. How they would control it. Here the farmer would sit and rule the machine. The gears are just exposed up here. Wow, you can quite literally look into it. Must have been incredibly dangerous working this machine. I think he kept it up here just as display, something like that. What a wonderful piece. Let's now venture upstairs. Let's bring us the rooms. But look here in the corner. The crutches of Mr. Martin are here. So maybe at the end of his life he was in a quite bad shape of health, as you could say. Crazy. These are actually quite nice crutches. And here, spider webs are covering the windows of this place. That leads us up to the bedrooms. Now quite a lot of bedrooms. We'll start off with this one, here to the right first. Quite a fascinating bedroom. And I think this was the bedroom where Mr. Martin used to sleep. Still made bed over here. Oh, that's crazy. That's just crazy. He placed the things that he needed on top of the stove. So like his contacts and all his things. Is that... Oh, there's a little light. Just took it out. Maybe at night you needed that. Gonna place it back later on. Wow. Look at all the spider webs that are covering it. Love this bed. And then above the bed, he displayed pictures of one of his children. And maybe this was a hand-painted picture from the children of his wife. That would be so lovely of them. A violin clock. No, it's not a violin clock. It's a violin thermometer. Wow, this is an amazing piece of furniture. Look at this. A barometer down there. I love that piece of furniture. Let's look to the other side of this bedroom. What we have over here. A young lady in a wedding dress. Oh my God. Of course, people married very early back in the days. Now it takes such a long time Lovely bird on the wall. And a quite pristine place over here. Wow. A book, a Bible, Buchlein from Lourdes, the holy place in France. Glasses. I think he was also quite a traveler because we already saw some things about traveling. We see the Eiffel Tower here, some souvenirs from around the world. One of his coats, still in plastic. Maybe this was his fancy coat when he went out. Wow. More coats of him. Costume, I mean, excuse me. And over here we have some perfumes. Tobacco, aftershave. The sounds that the furnitures make is just crazy. Look at this enormous hallway. So every single child in this place had his own bedroom. The first one over here to the side might also have been a bedroom, but is now nothing anymore. I'm not gonna go in depth in this one. And over here we have like this little artifact where they put some water in, some holy water, and then you could do like a cross. When you went to bed, I'm gonna show you. When you went to bed, put a little bit of water, so the mother or the father put some water in here, and then make a little cross, and then you're freed of your sins to go to bed. Another bedroom. This one has not been used for quite a long time, I think. Wow. Beautiful radio here on the ground. And then this they would use to wash themselves before they went to bed. Love this. And an amazing vanity here. So maybe one of his daughters would sleep in this room. And she has the same artifact, the same souvenir here on her vanity. So religious that these people were. Oh, and this is the holy water that they maybe put into the artifact that we saw in the hallway. Some clips and all the things. Even her toothbrush still there at the back. Wonderful. Oh. We have a very, very small bedroom here to the side. Of course, you could not divide this house equally. Lots of books as well. And to this side, there is a bit of a bigger bedroom. Again, displayed with a vanity. So we saw 2 bedrooms without a vanity right now, and 2 with a vanity. Lovely, all the artifacts are still on here. Look at this book, completely handwritten book, back from the day. I love this one, Roder, it says on there. Amazing booklet. Belgium, that's my country. I don't know what was in here. Big closet back there. Let's look into that closet. There's still some clothes in there. Yeah, and these look like women's clothes. See, this is a blouse for a woman. Okay, so one of his daughters might have slept in this room. Got some old envelopes down there. And over here, they used to store the clothes on the chairs for the next morning. Oh my God, while just exploring this room, I was focused on the top of it, but I didn't look at the floor. And Jeroen just told me, hey Leslie, there are like a huge amount of cigars on the floor. And he was correct. Look at this. Wow. Still in their wrapper, all the cigars from Mr. Martin. These also look like quite expensive cigars, right? Wow. Even more over there. Crazy. Never seen something like this in an abandoned place. That's quite the find, I think. The cigar boxes of Mr. Martin. Oh, this bed that I see here in the corner of my eye is just one of my favorite. I thought at first it was a slate bed, but it's not. It's just one of those thick wooden antique beds. And this is actually a quite small bedroom. Wow, really, really small. What's on top of here? Some envelopes. Really, really small bedroom. But the bed still has all the bed linen on there. And the mattress, as you can see, inside of there is straw. That's how they would fill up the mattresses back in the day. Pillows bound together with some rope. Truly ancient. There are a few more bedrooms down here. I know there are many, many bedrooms. Like I told you, this is the 5th one. So we have the 5th bedroom. Also, everything's still left in here. The bathrobes and everything. And here this one has a sink as well. And then to the end of the house, we got the 6th bedroom. So 1 bedroom for Martin and his wife, and then 5 others where 6 children slept. So not every single one had their own bedroom, but almost all of them. And down here we have a bedpan that you would fill up with hot water, put at the end of your feet, and you wouldn't have cold feet in bed. Wonderful things left here. Pots and pans and kettles. He used this quite as a storage room, I think. All the plates down there as well. And over here we have a fishing rod. He maybe went out fishing sometimes. Wow. And then at the very end of the hallway, they had the toilet. A French flushing style toilet. Isn't that just crazy? This is quite the enormous house, and to end it off we have to go to the attic, because that's where the memories of the people are stored. If you don't need something in the house anymore, you bring it up to the attic for storage. Well, first off, let's look at all those spider webs. Black spider webs that are covering the stairway. But if you didn't need something anymore in life, you would bring it up to the attic and store it up there, just forever. Actually, because people don't throw away that much stuff. They keep hoarding and hoarding everything inside of their house. And mostly on top of this place, the attic. Welcome to Mr. Martin, his attic. Ooh. This is quite a serene place. Let's go through there. Wow, this is also what you will never see from a house if you're not exploring it. Here we have like a mixer, a very old school hand cranked mixer. Now we have a milk jug to that side. And lots of wooden beams up here. Maybe he loved making things, or he just stored them for a future project up here. Wine bottles, the corks still on there, but they're all empty, as you can see. I love how this ceiling, how this attic is constructed. He also came up here to dry his clothes. His last clothes are still drying here. Crazy to see this all. Not that much things on this attic, but quite fascinating anyway. Wow. There's a doorway. Maybe if you want to store something big on the attic, you would get it out from outside with a hoist or something. Let's look to the other side. See what's over there. Oh, we have another bed. Maybe the 6th child slept in the attic. And then we have the drying room, I think. Yeah, I think this is the drying room. Wow. Smoking room, I should say. I don't know exactly how those rooms were used, but I know it's a smoking room. Wonderful to see this all. Okay, we are now back outside of the place. And I'm gonna show you the backside of this amazing farm. Look at this, how huge this place is. It's just crazy. That's the door where we went in through. And over here, Mr. Martin had his tractor and his car in the garage. Still left here after all those years. Look at this. Mr. Martin's car, completely green by now. He drove it in here one last time before he left planet Earth, forever behind. Just crazy. Back there are some horse carriage wheels. This car is just completely devastated. Oh my God. And on this side of the barn, you have Mr. Martin's tractor, where he worked the fields with. Wow. A Ford tractor, and a plow as well. I don't know if he had any animals, I'm not sure of that. It's wonderful to see. One last look at the backside of his house. Wow, Mr. Martin, what a place that you have. I truly adored going through your house and seeing how you lived your last days of your life. And I feel for you as well. It's quite harsh losing your wife. And I hope you all enjoyed this documentary and this tour of Mr. Martin's house. If you did so, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to see another exploration every single week. Also hit that bell notification button and write me a nice comment in the comment section. In the description there's also a link to Patreon that you can support the channel on a monthly basis and help us out get around the world and explore these places because they need to be documented before they are gone. I want to thank you all and I'll see you next week, another epic adventure. Bye bye, I love you very much.